Welcome back to the Swinging Blindly podcast as we talk all things Major League Baseball. I'm Blaze Bryant here in upstate New York. And down in Connecticut, wait a second, who is this guy? It's been so long since we've done a show together, I forgot who it is. Oh, wait. It is the one and only P.J. Geary. Hey, my guy.
Ooh, that was a great... Thank you. That was a great reintroduction. Yes, it's been a while. We've been all over the place this summer, but we are back. We are back and better than ever here on the Swinging Blindly podcast.
Indeed, we are. Facebook.com/Swinging Blindly podcast. Ooh, it sounds like a beer. On Twitter at Swinging Blindly.
Sorry about that.
And you need not apologize. As we have a very busy show, we'll get to your calls. We're going to pay tribute to the late Vin Scully first. That's going to be our From the Booth segment. If you didn't hear, Vin Scully, the long time, 67 years to be exact. He was the voice of the Dodgers from, when they were in Brooklyn. My guy, this guy called games when Jackie Robinson was a Brooklyn Dodger until he retired in 2016. Vin Scully died Tuesday night, 94 years old. A good long life for sure. And I've got a bunch of clips here to pay tribute to Vin. PJ, are you ready and ready to go here?
Absolutely. And just so you know, you can find us on Twitter at Swinging Blindly, on Facebook at Swinging Blindly Podcast, I believe, and then I believe those are two, correct?
Yes,
Liz?
Yep. You got it right.
Just to make sure we get that out there, but yes, I mean we're back and we have an episode, and you know what, we found this out this morning, right, Blaze? I mean right before we're getting ready for our comeback episode, and then Vin Scully dies, and it's sad, and we have to cover it because we're baseball guys, and just to pay our respects to the game, not only just the game, but obviously to Vin Scully himself, who was such a big part of baseball. And and you know what? I look forward to what you're going to play for the people here, Blaze, because it will be a tribute, as you said.
Indeed it will, for sure. Let's start 1965. Chicago Cubs were at Dodger Stadium, so that means it was a Cubs-Dodgers game. Sandy Koufax was on the mound, 26 up, 26 down. Here's how the last pitch of his perfect game sounded as called by the now late Vin Scully.
2-2 to Harvey Keene. One strike away. Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. A perfect game. On the scoreboard in right field, it is 9:46 p.m. in the city of the Angels, Los Angeles, California. And a crowd of 29,139 just sitting in to see the only pitcher in baseball history to hurl 4 no-hit, no-run games. He has done it 4 straight years, and now he capped it on his 4th no-hitter. He made it a perfect game. And Sandy Koufax, whose name will always remind you of strikeouts, did it with a flourish. He struck out the last 6 consecutive batters. So when he wrote his name in capital letters in the record books, that K stands out even more than the OUFAX.
I love the last line of that.
That is so good. So good. Wow. You almost, you know what? You almost feel like you're right there. Like you almost feel like you're right there in that time as you listen to that. Like as you know, we're basically the same age, and we are the same age, and you know, to hear about these players like the Sandy Koufaxes of the world, like you think Vin Scully, like immediately for all like the legends that we think of that we weren't, you know, lucky enough to be alive to you know, witness them or be around at the same time. I felt like I was watching that perfect game, and that is the true testament to a great broadcaster.
No doubt about it. That game was on September 8th, I believe it was, in
1960.
It was 65, yeah. 1965.
Okay.
Yep. And there's an 8-minute video on YouTube of the last half of that inning. Well, it really was the top of the ninth inning because the Dodgers were home. So, yeah, it was the top of the ninth. And Vin was telling the time. He was giving you the time as the inning was progressing, which you don't hear anyone do that.
Oh, no.
And it's not so much, you know, the voice. Obviously, his voice is legendary. His calls are legendary. But he created theater. He created theater like none other.
You know who that was for? It was for the blue collar workers that were still working at the time. It was for the again, blue collar guy on his ride home, listening to the radio. Like he update his calls, and we're gonna have a couple of them as
we've got several,
because you're an amazing producer here, but that was on purpose for the working man and women.
Well,
and
yeah, I mean, but and that is true. And the other part of it too, because I heard him be interviewed about this, and he said, "Well, you know, I told the time because I was just saying what I was seeing," and he did stuff very similar. There was Bill Singer, I believe his name was, in 1970. He threw a no-hitter, and he was giving the time and describing the looks or the look on his face from his wife, Ginny, in the stands. And I mean, just all these incredible things. Just the theater of it all, just in that call. And the way he captured a moment here, as I'm going to lead this into our next clip. April 8th of 1974, Hank Aaron was at bat, sitting on 714 home runs. And here's how history sounded in Atlanta through the eyes and voice of Vin Scully.
So the confrontation for the second time. Aaron walked in the second inning. He means the tying run at the plate now. We'll see what Downing does. Al at the belt delivers, and he's low. Ball one. And that just adds to the pressure. The crowd booing. Downing has to ignore the sound effects and stay a professional and pitch his game. 1 ball and no strikes. Aaron waiting. The outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone. Moment for baseball. What a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. a black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol. And it is a great moment for all of us, and particularly for Henry Aaron, who was met at home plate not only by every member of the Braves, but by his father and mother. He threw his arms around his father, and as he left the home plate area, his mother came running across the grass, threw her arms around his neck, kissed him for all she was worth. As Aaron circled the bases, the Dodgers on the infield shook his hand, and that was a memorable moment. Aaron is being mobbed by photographers. He is holding his right hand high in the air, and for the first time in a long time, that poker face of Aaron shows the tremendous strain and relief of what it must have been like to live with for the past several months. It is over. At 10 minutes after 9 in Atlanta, Georgia, Henry Aaron has eclipsed the mark set by Babe Ruth.
Wow. And that, I mean, to me, the best part of that call, PJ, and I've heard it a million times, is where Vin, he stayed silent for a little bit so that you could hear the crowd. You know, sometimes the best thing you can do as a broadcaster in a big moment like that is to shut up, because
let it play.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they feel a need to put themselves in that big moment, and that's just the worst thing you can do.
Please, that was really, really cool. You know, it's that's a moment I've seen, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's when the famous picture was taken of the man who ran on the field and shook Hank Aaron's hand as he was rounding the bases, and down, as he said, even, you know, in just having to say a black man, you know, this is the 70s, you know, describing it in that sense is just such a, it's crazy, man. Like that's that really is one of those things, man. Like that I can't even. Like, if you look it up on YouTube, the first thing is Vin Scully calling it. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I love accessing great deals, but not right now. Swinging Blindly podcast.
But like that's what happened is, like, as he's rounding the bases, he gets mobbed by like fans. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, and the Dodgers infield, and yeah, I mean, and just to think about what it was like at that time.
It's a famous picture of two white guys as Hank Aaron is rounding second base. Two white guys run on the field and basically give Hank Aaron a hug. And at that time, it wouldn't have been so crazy if those guys did something very bad. But instead, it was a handshake. I mean, nowadays those guys would have been tackled and thrown out of the stadium immediately. But as Hank Aaron is rounding the bases, which adds to Vin Scully's call, is as Hank Aaron is rounding second base, he has two white men run right up next to him and give him daps and a hug and a pat him on the back. And yet, you know, Vin Scully was able to call it the way he did to like paint that picture. And yeah, I mean, one of the most important hits in baseball history. Has to be.
No doubt about it. And I'm really glad that you put a lot of emphasis on the white men rounding second bit, or, you know, shaking and hugging his hand, or, you know, all that stuff. I mean, it's Atlanta, Georgia in 1974. Yes. I mean, I don't want to be that person who says it was Atlanta, Georgia in 1974.
Yeah, well, Vin Scully said it. He said there was a black man breaking a record of. I mean, he did say black man, but he didn't say breaking the record of a white man. But he said a black man in Georgia breaking a record, and again, as I said, like I'll never forget like seeing that because A, it's 7:15, and B, it's these two guys. Like you watch the clip and they come out of nowhere and they're just right next to him, and they both just pat him on the back, shake his hand, and then they leave.
At 10 after 9.
No,
and again,
another good point that you just made, Blaze. I love how Vin would point out the time. That's a pro right there.
And that's what a lot of, and you don't hear it now, and I think it actually does contribute to the degradation of radio today. Telling the time is a very important thing. I mean, when I'm doing live local radio, which I occasionally do, I make it an effort to tell the time, although because the show replays at different times of the day, I was actually told, no, you can't tell the time. You can't give the time. I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. But it's because, the radio is largely meant for, people who are getting ready in the morning or if, they have it on and they're doing something. And, the radio helps you keep time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those little things that means so much and adds so much to a broadcast, at least in my opinion. It's very important to give the time.
If you're listening to it at all times, it's one of those things where you need that update. Like, what time is it?
Absolutely. Now, are you?
Do we have any more?
We we do. 1986. This is Game 6 of the 86 World Series. I'm going to set this up. Bottom of the 10th inning. Mets are down 5-3 to the Red Sox, who scored a couple of runs in the top of the 10th. And had the Red Sox won the game, they would have won the World Series. So that whole 86-year curse of the Bambino, well, that would have been trimmed down to only a 68-year curse.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is, bottom of the 10th, NBC, 1986. Mookie Wilson is at the dish.
2-2 to Mookie Wilson. And it's going to go to the backstop. Here comes Mitchell to score the tying run, and Ray Knight is at second base. So the winning run is at second base with 2 out, 3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
That's how the Mets won the game, with a wild pitch and the ball that got through Bill Buckner's legs.
What a call. And that's something that I think people forget, myself included, is that the tying run scored on the same at bat.
Yeah.
And then Mookie poked it literally through and R.I.P.
Buckner's legs. Yeah.
R.I.P. Bill Buckner hit through his legs, and that was what, like, it was a whole thing growing up, man, like pulling a Buckner, and that stinks, and because he was a good player. He was
a very good player, actually.
I just want this on the record. Bill Buckner was a good player, did not deserve what he got, but when that happened, he was on the tail end of his career. he shouldn't have been in there in the first place. I mean, if you want to really go back into the nitty-gritty, he should have been subbed out for a defensive replacement, but there was something that happened with that.
It's also
Either
very
way.
easy for us to say because we weren't even freaking born then. So who are we to say?
Absolutely. But you know what I'm taking away from it, and I didn't mean to do that, Blaze, was what a freaking call from Vince Scully. Like, that's what I remember. Like, I remember that call of that. I mean, that's a moment, you know, as a Cardinal fan. You know, spoiler alert, the Cardinals lost the Red Sox for their first championship in 86 years. And this is a clip I've heard and seen many, many times. So,
yeah. I mean, it's really one of the best calls of all time because it's just so simple and well done. And this to me here, PJ, now this to me is the best creation of theater by Vince Scully. Now we fast forward 2 years to the 1988 World Series. Again, calling the game for NBC. The Dodgers were home to take on the Oakland A's.
Oh, here we go. Let's go.
Kirk Gibson was not even introduced because he was so injured because of 2 bad legs. And Kirk Gibson admitted this after the game ended, that when he heard Vin say in the 7th inning that there's no way in hell that he's going to be able to go in, that motivated Kirk Gibson to get himself in somewhat of a position to come up and pinch hit in the bottom of the 9th. Here is somewhat abridged version of that at-bat. On the call with Vin was Joe Garagiola. Hang on. A little bit of a technical issue here with this one right now. I'll come back to it. This one, and hopefully I can get the audio issues squared away with the 88 call. This is Vin's last home run call at Dodger Stadium from 2016.
Now Charlie Culberson coming up. So we will see 1 out in San Diego. Brad Hand is facing Brandon Belt, and the Padres lead 4-3. 2 out here in the 10th inning. Culberson struck out, singled twice, reached on an error. Charlie trying to keep the inning alive and let Grandal come up. Belt's trying to do the same thing in San Diego. Little foul, out of play, 0-1. All right, Brandon still battling up there. 9th inning, 4-3 San Diego. 10th inning, 3-3. Dodgers and Rockies. Oh, and 1 to Charlie. Swung on a high fly ball to deep left field. The Dodgers have been crazy. Would you believe a home run? And the Dodgers have clinched the division and will celebrate on schedule.
All right, well, the computer has a mind of its own, so sorry about that. But yeah, that was the last home run at Dodger Stadium for Vin Scully, of all people to hit it. Charlie Culverson, PJ.
I mean, you had that on your bingo card, did you not?
Yeah, right there with 073. Yeah.
And our guy, Do you know who our guy is? If I say our guy, do you know who that is?
I do not.
You can. Come on. Who is our guy? Come on, he's our guy. He's really our guy.
Bretty boy?
Well, but okay, I'm talking about like a pro pitch. He's a pitcher.
He's a pitcher. And he's our guy.
He's our guy.
You
got this. I know you got this.
Bro, I'm honestly drawing a blank here as I'm trying to figure out this technical difficulty here. So.
Okay, hold on. I'll give you a quick hint. Let me just make sure I have the right guy. Oh yeah, I've searched him before. Former Oriole.
Jimmy Yacobonis.
That's our guy. That is our guy. Through and through, no matter what happens, we have Jimmy Yacobonis.
This is true. So, take me through what you thought about that Culverson call right there.
Oh, right there at the end?
Yeah, and just the at bat and going through everything.
Oh, I mean, brother, I've personally have had an amazing time re-listening to Vince Scully. It's one of those. It's one of I wasn't so emotional about it. My father might be a little bit more emotional about it than I know. I'll have to text him, but it's one of those things that you don't realize. Like, you don't realize how many calls that he's been a part of that I have in my being. Like, the 86 Mets, the Buckner. Like, in my sleep, I know that's Vince Scully.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just one of those deals where he's just been such a constant for so long that it ends up being like a dang. It's going to be weird when you hear, I imagine, especially for people out west, Dodger fans, if you're listening to this, hit us up. But, that's been their guy. I mean, I know he's retired, a couple years ago?
Yeah, 2016 is when he retired.
Yeah, but still, you don't. It's regardless of if you're a Dodger or a Los Angeles baseball fan. As a fan of baseball in general, you know the name Vince Scully. You know how he sounds. You know who he is, and for that to be over is it's one of those. It's a benchmark. It's like, dang.
Yeah, and I have the 88 call. I was able to fix the technical on that. So let's play it before the computer screws up here again. I'll reset this up. 1988, Game 1 of the World Series. Dodgers are behind the A's 4-3. Kirk Gibson, 2 bad legs, wasn't even introduced and was able to get himself ready to pinch hit, and here's how it played out.
All year long, they looked to him to light the fire, and all year long, he answered the demands until he was physically unable to start tonight with 2 bad legs, the bad left hamstring and the swollen right knee. And with 2 out, you talk about a roll of the dice. This is it. If he hits the ball on the ground, I would imagine he would be running 50% to first base. So the Dodgers trying to catch lightning right now. He was, complaining about the fact that with the left knee bothering him, he can't push off. Well, now he can't push off and he can't land.
He's going to use all arms. Look at his crowd on its feet. What a tribute.
4-3 A's. 2 out, 9th inning. Not a bad opening act. Gibson was so banged up
He was not introduced. He did not come out onto the field before the game.
You can really see the limp. He's not driving that ball. It was by him. Let's see. He's really almost has to talk to his legs and say, hey, let's go. We got to get out of here.
It's one thing to favor one leg, but you can't favor two.
No way. And that's what he's trying to do. He really is.
Gibson shaking his left leg, making it quiver like a horse, trying to get rid of a troublesome fly. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out.
Those extra steps that Davis will get if the count goes to 3-2 are very big. So Hasse and Eckersley want that pitch of decision right here.
There he goes, way outside. He's stolen it.
Hasse started to throw and kind of bumped Gibson, but it was way too late. Davis was way down there, almost as if he could have walked in.
3-2. Sachs waiting on deck, but the game right now is at the plate. High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
Yes, it was indeed. I mean, could you just imagine trying to hit PJ? Because you've been in this position, I've not. And that was Vin Scully and Joe Garagiola. That was the analyst there. Could you imagine what that must have been like for Kirk Gibson to have to essentially hit with all arms?
Oh, absolutely not, Blaze. And what I mean, a feat for Gibson, but the call. Let's not get away from the call. I mean,
I know. I was trying to build the theater up as much as I could.
I mean, this is a. You have to imagine that Vin Scully is not expecting that home run. Like that. That might have been one of the most That might have been one of the things he least expected to happen at that time. So you can really hear it in his voice, the shock that came with that hit and home run with the famous Kirk Gibson with his famous celebration around second base. I mean, now that we're doing this, it's so crazy to remember how important this man was to baseball. Place really so many of the most iconic moments and pictures and videos have been tied to this man, and it's Vin Scully, and it's pretty crazy to relive that.
Yeah, I mean, he got into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. He won the Ford C. Frick Award for Broadcast Excellence in 1982. He was, I want to say, the 4th or 5th recipient of that award. I mean, of course, people like Red Barber and Mel Allen, who were the pioneers of baseball broadcasting, among a couple of others. Russ Hodges, Russ Hodges was the one who, called the shot heard around the world. And when the Giants win the pennant,
That's him too.
Yeah, that was Russ Hodges.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's
awesome. So of course, Vin had to wait his turn, but
Mazeroski.
Yeah, deservedly so. He didn't have to wait long.
Yeah. Damn.
Who the frig is this? Sorry, I had a phone call coming in. You know, these spam people. They broke through my do not disturb. So sorry if my audio dropped on you there for a second.
There's very few guys who will end up with the same admiration as Vin Scully. He's the last of a dying breed, I think. And, you know, because, like, for myself, I mean, Dan McLaughlin, he's the voice, the TV voice. As a Cardinal fan, Mike Shannon has transitioned out, clearly. But he was there for a while. Like, it's a lost art, it's a dying breed, and I think, personally, it is something that needs to be revered and respected, because it's not going to end, Blaze. It won't end. Like, there will always be a radio presence for every team.
Yeah, well, but, you know, the other thing, you know, the other voice, I don't want you to leave him out, that you have for the Cardinals is John Rooney, who has been there for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And It's radio voice.
Yeah. John Rooney's been doing radio for a while, for the Cards.
Yeah, and a legend, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, you had Harry Carey, you had Jack Buck.
Well, Carey was okay. Come on, Carey and Jack were way before our time. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing is like. The day of a radio caller specifically being a Hall of Famer like that might be gone. And that stinks. That really stinks to me.
Oh, I disagree with you completely because I think and of course you have Bob Uecker. You know, he was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame 2003, Baseball Hall of Fame in the broadcast wing. Susan Waldman, she's going to be inducted into the New York State broadcasters. Or no, I'm sorry, the Radio Hall of Fame, not just New York State. She's going to be inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, deservedly so, for her pioneering work. I mean, say what you want about her, but she has trailblazed a profession for women, and she should be...
Bro, of course, that time, just the fact that she was there. I mean, all props to Susan Waldman. I mean, it is one of those things. And what I was saying is like it's a tough business to get into, but you know, who knows?
Absolutely, and I think as long as baseball's a game, it's always going to be a radio sport. I really. Yep. And truly believe that. Now, we've played, a lot of the great Scully calls. And also, too, he did football. Scully did football for a little bit for NBC as well. You know the call, it was Dwight Clark making the catch, the tight end for the San Francisco 49ers. There's a call called The Catch, and that was Vin Scully. And I wish I had the forethought to play that. Maybe
but
you know what I'll do? As we're taking calls, PJ, I will grab that call off of YouTube and play it before we wrap up.
But as you said, let's talk deadline.
Well, wait. I'm not done with Scully. I have to play this, and this is
You've been keeping the people from Scully. Or from the deadline.
Yeah, well, I'm just building up the theater for the deadline. Now, I intentionally pulled this, mainly for you, and it's a story about a former Cardinal manager and catcher.
Bottom of the second inning, no score, and the subject is Mike Matheny. Matheny, 44 years old come the end of September, born in Ohio, lives in Missouri. But he was not even 18 years old, and he came to the University of Michigan with a major league dilemma. Earlier that summer, the Toronto Blue Jays had drafted a catching prospect in the 31st round, but Matheny decided to honor his college commitments, but he had a lot of doubts. Getting drafted was a dream come true, and if he waited till later on, the next time the offer would be less or not forthcoming at all. So he was a young man, not 18, and a lot of pressure. Should I turn pro or go to college? Major League Baseball rules allow players to sign with teams up until the player officially enters college full-time. That's the key, full-time. Anyway, Matheny showered, ready to go to class for the first day. Walked out of the dormitory, stomach knotted, and a pigeon defecated directly on his head. Now, conventional wisdom would suggest the bird bombing was a sign that he should hit the road. But Matheny had to go back and clean up. The pitch to Uribe, a strike, 0-1 the count. He went back and showered and cleaned up and decided all of a sudden he was at peace. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to go to college. And there was one other thing that happened. The strike one pitch swung on and missed, 0-2. Matheny went to his first class, and when he reached class, he noticed a pretty field hockey player named Kristen. And he would marry her and live happily ever after. And that's the story of Mike Matheny and the bird pool. As Uribe hasn't much of a swing as he returns against a great pitcher and strikes out.
That's the story.
Of Mike Matheny and the bird poop.
That's the story of the Mike Matheny and the bird. I mean, that was like, rest in peace. That was one of the greatest stories I've ever heard.
And just the way he wove the story in between pitches. It's just a thing of beauty.
I mean, legitimately one of the best to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
If not the best.
I certainly firmly believe that Vin was and is the best to ever do it. Swinging Blindly Podcast, Facebook.com/Swinging Blindly Podcast, on Twitter @Swinging Blindly, available wherever you get your podcasts at noon Eastern tomorrow from when we're recording this. So, so this color cast will be turned into podcast. So let's, we'll get back to Vin Scully because I do want to play. We'll get back to Vin toward the end, and what we'll do is we'll close. PJ, let's close the show later on with Vin's final words from his broadcast career.
Blaze, you need to take control because I don't know. You have to just tell me when we do things because I don't. What are we doing?
Okay, let's get into the trade deadline. It was a frenzy.
I mean, we only have 12 minutes for an hour, so let's go.
If we run long, we run long. So let's.
I can't. Yeah, go ahead.
I understand. All right, so we'll zip through this here really quickly. BJ, where do you want to? I mean, of course, we know where to start with the trade deadline and Juan Soto, Josh Bell going to the Slam Diego Padres.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just when you see something like that, and Washington, I believe they got back a bunch of prospects. I'm honestly really not zeroed in as to what the Nationals got back in return, but what they did, San Diego essentially took a disgruntled Juan Soto off the Nationals' hands. And before I ask you your take on it, I mean, because we haven't done a show since it broke. Juan Soto he turned down a 15-year, $440 million deal from the Nationals, which average annual value is less than 30 per. You certainly can understand it for a guy of his talent, and they were thinking that he was going to give him a hometown discount because they drafted him, brought him up through the system and everything. And honestly, dude, I can't blame Soto because since the Nationals won the World Series, they've just torn everything down around him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was the as a Cardinal fan, I'm clearly it pains me to get into this, but the deal was the Padres got Juan Soto and Josh Bell for Mackenzie Gore, right-handed pitcher, infielder shortstop CJ Abrams, outfielder Robert Hassel III, outfielder James Wood, and right fielder Jarlin Susana. And Hosmer had to go elsewhere, but
he chose to go elsewhere, and I know we have 10 minutes left. I'm gonna aim here to punch Swaggy B up here for
what is Swaggy B?
Swaggy
B is.
Yeah, I'm going to aim to punch you up, Swaggy B, for a few minutes here. We can wrap up the show with you here if I
mean, we did do
this adequately here.
And next week we can also talk more about the trade deadline.
Yeah, you're on your own next week, as you know.
Yes, as I know. Yes.
I did 2 shows on my own. You need to do one.
I will do one.
And that will be scheduled under your ColorCast name, which is PJG203. PJG203 will that'll be the handle that the show is under next week and next week only. So you get PJ by his damn self, so help him out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what it does to me is it says, hey, San Diego, you made a bunch of flashy moves. Now it's time for you to do something. And if you don't, then you got to tear your own stuff down. Because you have now put yourself in a position where you not making progress in the postseason is unacceptable.
That's what I would say. Is, I mean, they didn't trade him to the Cardinals, but this is literally if the Padres cannot, I think, make the World Series, right? At least making the World Series would be the thing, but they have to win one in the next 2 years, right? I mean, right? I mean, am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. I agree with you completely.
If the Cardinals had made this deal, then I would expect them to win a title in the next 2 years. Literally, seriously. You give up that much. I mean, it was a haul. Like I'm not. Am I still a little bit bitter that they didn't? Yes, but I understand and have looked at it. This is a win in the next 2 years type deal. So if the Padres don't win the World Series in this year or next year, I think they lose that Juan Soto deal. Like I really do.
Yeah, then
they might not even be able to sign him back.
Yeah, and like I said to you yesterday when we were doing a technical test, that the Cardinals not getting Soto, I think, is a good break, because not only do you get Juan Soto, but you get the attitude of Juan Soto.
Yep.
And
attitude, and I think more so it's money. More so, whoever gets Juan Soto is going to have to pay $500+ million.
And
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're dealing with a lot of inflation now, but that's too much money. I mean, he's not worth $500 million. He's not the best player in the sport.
Bro, he just turned down 440.
But I wonder if that has something to do with the average annual value, which I said to you a few minutes ago. That's less than 30
That's
per.
True. That's true. That's true.
I don't think it was so
you're
much the years and the amount. I think it's the AAV. That seems to be what the big focus is on all these contracts, not just with him. I mean, and we have to talk about Mike Trout here, as we wrap up as well. Next big trade involves both of our teams, and I don't know. I don't know, my guy. Jordan Montgomery being traded to the Cardinals for Harrison Bader. I get it. He's a damn good defensive center fielder when healthy.
Yeah. I can get into that, but I think we have to end this show. I think we have
yeah, come on, Blaze. You got to be a little more...
Bratty boy.
A little more, positive about this whole thing. Montgomery is a good pitcher. Was a good pitcher for the Yanks. Will be a good pitcher for the Cardinals. Honestly, a really solid back end of the rotation guy, which is pretty hard to have in baseball because a lot of back end rotation guys in baseball sort of, have their good days and their really bad days. And Jordan Montgomery is steady. Usually, he doesn't have many implosions. So,
right,
the loss of him will hurt, yes. But the addition of Montas, like, there's just.
I haven't gotten to Montas yet, Brett. But I agree with you about Montas. Here's the thing, though. Before you go on about that, the thing is, though, why did we get a guy who can't play for another month?
Because Judge has been playing center field most of the year and been doing all right. Giancarlo Stanton will be back before Bader. So and then going into the postseason,
PJ.
You have all of September, which is the run into the postseason is not as exciting as the postseason, but certainly gears up for it really well as it goes down the stretch. Bro. And not to mention, the Yankees have a massive lead in the American League East.
Yeah, PJ, what were you? You were saying my name here. You were pulling a Destiny's Child.
Yeah, Blaze. Bader is a Gold Glove center. Literally, one of the last year, a Gold Glove center fielder. Am I too happy about this? Yes and no. We haven't had the chance to talk about it, but Bader is a Gold Glover. Sorry, I have something on my teeth. Sorry. Bader is a Gold Glover, and Montgomery is a decent starter. Bader is a Gold Glove center fielder.
Okay, you've said that 5 times. I don't need to hear it another time. Here's the thing, though.
We don't know what his bat is. I'll give you that.
But
sorry. I will.
Okay, I'm going to spin this another way then. Luis Severino's on the 60-day injured list. You don't know what Domingo Germán's going to be. I just don't understand the move.
I think Germán, when healthy, is a higher ceiling pitcher than Montgomery.
Agree.
And so along that line of thinking, I guess that's where Cashman and Co. made the call. You know what I mean? Because to get a player that can really lock down center field for you, like I don't know, maybe like Kevin Kiermaier of the Rays, then you hopefully he stays healthy. Honestly, the Yanks have been generally healthy all year, which is the first time in a few years that we can actually say that as Yankee fans.
Yeah.
And it's part of the reason why they've been so good throughout the season. That and Judge's MVP season, but the overall health, and not to mention that it seems like Matt Blake is really tapping into his pitching staff. We've gotten way more out of Cortez than anyone would have thought.
Yep.
This year. So I it's just I think I see the upside here. You don't really want to play Judge. He is 30 or going to be 30. I believe he is 30. You're
He's
not going
going
to
to be
if you're
30.
going to sign him to a massive contract after the season, it's not going to be with the expectation to be the center fielder for the length of it. So you bring in Bader, and then you lighten Judge's load so that he doesn't have to cover so much ground in center as well. I mean, I guess that is me reading the tea leaves. I'm just trying to that's just how I interpret the moves the Yankees made.
Brett, I'm not disagreeing with your tea leaf reading at all. I just see, to me, wouldn't you love a rotation though? With Cole, Cortez, Montas, Montgomery, Herman, and then when Severino gets back, you can slide him in and then give some of those other guys extra rest. Now you don't have that luxury. And
now the Cardinals have Montgomery, but I could also give you.
But the Yankees have been playing Matt Carpenter in right field. He's a second baseman. The Yanks needed the outfielder, and I know he's hurt.
Can I give you a Bader scouting report? Because I mean, I was there opening day this year. Bader was the opening day leadoff hitter. I mean, it was supposed to be Bader, Carlson, O'Neill. That was the outfield that we were supposed to have, which sucks. Like, now that they traded him, I don't know what it is.
See, to me,
Carlson, because the Cardinals would have had Juan Soto if they didn't want to trade Carlson, but they didn't trade Carlson, so they kept him. I love that man.
I don't blame them for that. But here's the thing: Harrison Bader, in my estimation, is not a good enough player to wait a month for him to be healthy.
I agree with that. I love Bader, and he was supposed to be the Cardinals' leadoff hitter this entire year. That's what we were supposed to have. The Cardinals had a outfield plethora, and he was the center fielder, and he didn't do that. So his bat didn't come up. He's been hurt. He's a Gold Glover, so Gold Glove, but and fast feet, but bat it hasn't been there. So we'll have to see what happens, right?
Yeah, I is Bader good enough? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you don't think he is, Blaze, I'm not gonna even. I wouldn't even say that you're wrong. I'm more neutral about it, but it's like if the Yankees didn't have such an enormous lead in the American League East, there'd be more cause for concern because. Whether it's Bader here, Bader's not here, Montgomery is here, Montgomery's not here. You don't even, there's no way of really looking in the crystal ball. Are they going to lose home field advantage to the Astros? Yeah, maybe. It's possible. But,
yeah, PJ, go ahead.
Would a move here or there would have really swung the tide that far?
Yeah, PJ, what were you gonna?
I was just gonna say, you're, for him, where do you put it? 1 through 5.
Bader?
Montgomery?
No, Bader.
What the frig are you talking about?
1 through 5 in the lineup? No, he'll probably be. I would wager that he'll be a 7, 8, 9.
I'd put him ninth. I'd actually put him ninth way because he has a lot of speed. The scouting report says scouting report says that he is a hitter in progress. At least you hope. Therefore, put him ninth. That way, if he gets on, you have DJ, one of our best contact hitters. And by the way, I don't understand why the Yankees don't have DJ leading off or Benintendi 2, where you flip-flop those. That's what I would have done.
It's because
old best hitter 3.
It's because old school baseball thinks the best hitter in the lineup should bat second because you get more at bats per year
That's
batting
new
second
school
than you do.
Your old school says
third.
3. Your old school
Yeah,
says 30.
I know,
Old-
but I'm
yeah.
saying old school baseball. What I'm saying is old school baseball. You would have DJ Benintendi 1-2. I don't care what order. I would personally put DJ 1, and then Judge would be third. But new school baseball says bat Judge second, which so you need to. It's one or the other.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know.
instead of 1-2, because 10 years ago, Judge would have been batting third. I mean, it's really new school that Judge is batting second. It's just
Yep.
that's how they think. I don't agree. It's just that's how I would construct it.
Yeah, so you and I are in agreement then, Brett.
Yes. It's just the new school analytic way of thinking says bat Judge second because he'll get, I don't know, 50 more at bats per year batting second than he will batting third.
Yeah, I don't know. So here we go. Let's just zip through these guys. That way we can wrap up. The Montas trade. Montas and Trevino, because it's Lou Trevino, Jose Trevino.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, I can't wait for a Trevino LLP battery. I mean that. And what we gave up to get those guys, I mean, that is an A move. And I will say that trade alone, that's why Brian Cashman gets an A for the deadline.
Yeah.
I will give him an A.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. And also, if the Yankees don't pull off the Montas deal, then, they're not going to make that the Bader deal. It's one. It was a domino effect.
You're absolutely right.
Deal.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely,
it just is what it is at that point.
Yeah.
That's baseball, Susan.
Yeah, and
There
then the what is his name? Brofus? Brofus?
Efros.
Efros.
Scott Efros from the Cubs. Yeah.
I just knew it wasn't Broseph. But him for
Scott Broseph.
Yeah, Scott Broseph. No relation to Scott Broseph, but I mean that's another good move too, because it's another look from the right side of the bullpen.
Yeah, the Yankees, I think even the hits the Yankees bullpen have taken, I trust pretty much anybody that they bring in at this point. The Yankees bullpen is always in abundance.
Yeah,
at least the past few years. You really got to say we've absorbed the loss of Chad Green really well this year. Why with Clay Holmes? No one you wouldn't even have mentioned his name to start the year. All-star.
Sure.
PJ, you sound like you're half asleep.
No, that's so true.
So true. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, Chad Green, not much of a loss. Sorry. Hosmer,
he was good. It's just, you know what I mean.
But he was bad in the worst moments.
In the words of Don LaGreca, I was just talking extemporaneously, and he was the first name that I pulled.
Yeah, Hosmer to the Red Sox. I mean, they made some interesting moves. They got rid of Vasquez, acquiring Reese McGuire. I mean, the Red Sox. I mean, they just made moves that don't make sense.
Yeah, Vasquez to the Astros. That was a little surprising, but Boston is as Boston does. So next year they'll probably be in first.
Yeah, well, I mean, in this case, the enemy of your enemy is not your friend. I mean, because Vasquez just went from one rival to the other.
Yeah,
it's true.
From my most hated team to my second most hated team, and you can interpret that however you want.
We're all you and I are in agreement on that.
Idle goes on third.
That's how you sum up what the Red Sox did. I don't know who's on third.
Oh man, that was
yes. Oh, it's good to hear the board. Good to hear the board back.
Yeah. It's so good to be
using
using it.
Brett.
It's so good to be using it. Was Brett's time up?
I don't know.
No,
Am I
he's
still
still
here?
here.
Okay, you're
I think
still
I'm
there.
still here. I don't even know if I'm on the clock. I'm just here.
It doesn't.
No,
I'm not
you're-
seeing a clock up here, so that's
Yeah, me
good.
neither.
No, he's just a speaker.
All right, cool. That's that. All right, hey, this works for me. So, guys, you know what else from the trade deadline stood out to you?
No.
Hmm.
I can't. I can't.
What was the well?
Oh, that weird deal,
Padres.
Mancini
So
to the
Padres,
Astros.
Mancini to the Astros, and then what was the Seattle's big deal? Was a bit surprising to me
That
too.
was Luis Castillo. Hot take.
Castillo to the Mariners was surprising to me. I didn't expect the there had been so much Yankees or honestly I hadn't really thought Seattle was. I never think Seattle's going to make moves like that.
Yeah, I mean, but Seattle is notorious for overpaying for people. And hot take, I wanted Matas over Castillo because
I'm really happy with Montas.
Yeah, because and I don't mean to sound like American League, National League. It does make a difference, though.
The one thing that worries me with Montas, and we'll see how it goes, is that he always had much better numbers pitching in Oakland than he did on the road. So if he was benefiting greatly from, pitching in Oakland, which is like pitching in the Grand Canyon, then hopefully it transitions well to New York.
Yeah,
hopefully he doesn't give up too
not-
many cheap ones to right field.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that, Brett. I mean, because think about it. Most people have better batting averages on the road than in Oakland. Most pitchers pitch better in Oakland than on the road. Mainly because of the cavernous foul territory that exists.
Yeah.
We got to go to that damn forsaken place in a few weeks.
Yeah,
PJ, what's your issue?
You could put like a minor league baseball field, you could put like a kids baseball field in like behind home plate in Oakland,
and just have a game.
Yeah, or set up the wiffle ball field behind. Whichever one you want to play. Or we play wiffle ball on the little field behind home plate, or we can use the baseball field. That's how Oakland should be.
Yeah. So yeah.
Brett, I'm glad you came into co-pilot here.
No, a wiffle ball field. Fuck you.
I'm seriously starting to get worried about you here. So,
Me?
yes, you.
Why?
You're like slurring your words, and you're just kind of you all right? Are you okay?
I'm more than okay.
Okay. I don't know. I don't even know if you could convince a hung jury of that right now, but I mean, it's just a lot of really interesting moves. I mean, the deadline, hey, them moving it to a couple of days later at 6:00 Eastern, great move. Love to see that again next year. I mean, it was a really good, busy trade deadline, and the Mets, they showed you that they're really not trying to win a World Series, or if they're trying to, they're very cocky about it.
I mean, but they get DeGrom back. So? There's no pitcher that they could have added that would have been better.
They needed a bat, though.
Yeah.
They didn't get one. Darren Ruff is not enough of a bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a bit of a head scratcher.
Not a good enough bat.
Yeah, not a good enough bat indeed. Guys, so this has been an awesome show. Final thoughts here. Because I want to end this with the words of Vin Scully signing off here. So, guys, just give me some final thoughts here, and then I'll do the closing plug and play Scully, and we're out of here.
Love you.
Thank you for having me on again and not even putting me on the clock, just straight up speaker status. So very, very cool. So Just good to be back on with you guys.
It's great to be back. Oh, don't forget PJG203. Look for the Swinging Blindly podcast under that handle, as I am taking my annual family vacation.
Yes.
And I love you guys to bits, but I love the ocean more.
PJG.
So
love that.
So yeah, and we don't care whether we swing and miss here. So that's the state of us here at Swinging Blindly. Brett Monroe, PJ Geary. I'm Blaze Bryant. Boys, cannot thank you enough. And let's wrap this up by playing the final words Vin Scully uttered in the broadcast booth. I'm having a weird... Okay, so here, I'm just going to... sometimes the best thing you can do here, because it's saying it can't read the audio. So we're just going to close, reopen, and play.
You know, friends, so many people have wished me congratulations on a 67-year career in baseball, and they've wished me a wonderful retirement with my family. And now, all I can do is tell you what I wish for you. May God give you for every storm a rainbow, for every tear a smile, for every care a promise, and a blessing in each trial. For every problem life seems a faithful friend to share, for every sigh a sweet song, and an answer for each prayer. You and I have been friends for a long time, but I know in my heart that I've always needed you more than you've ever needed me. And I'll miss our time together more than I can say. But you know what? There will be a new day and eventually a new year. And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball. So this is Vin Scully wishing you a very pleasant good afternoon wherever you may be.